For this video, I've challenged myself to create a mega base in hardcore Minecraft in just 100 days. A lot has changed since episode 1 as we have been getting kitted out to better prepare to take on the task. And yet, without further ado, let's get right into it. So you're probably wondering what I'm actually going to be doing for these 100 days. So basically, for this mega base, I'm going to find a pillager tower, obliterate all the residents, and adapt it into a centerpiece for my actual mega base. So let me kind of explain this mega base. So pretend that I'm an architect for a minute, so some of the things I'm actually saying sound like I actually know what I'm doing. Alright, so let me try and actually visualize this for you. This is probably going to be the most basic explanation I've ever given, but it will probably work. So this is going to be the centerpiece in the middle of the pillager tower. Then round the edges, I'm going to have 4 towers. Now this is probably the start of any castle ever built, so just don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Then obviously we're going to have the walls attached between all the towers as well, just to keep all the pillagers inside. And so basically the pillager tower is going to be the centerpiece of this mega base, and then outside the walls we're also going to have some villages and things like that, and just build other projects off this centerpiece. That was quite possibly the worst explanation I've ever given. So the game plan for getting this project complete in 100 days is to number 1, find the actual tower, number 2, collect the resources, and number 3, build it, I guess? Actually, I take it back, number 1 will be to collect all the resources, which will be an enormous amount of blocks. Turns out that me and the boys deforested an area the size of the US, and we probably won't need most of the materials that we actually managed to gather. So yeah, but it looks cool in the time lapse, so I'm not really complaining. Once we gathered enough wood, we sped around getting wither skulls and we killed the wither to get ourselves a beacon. We then used this beacon so we can mine up all the stone and cobble needed for the project itself. And after many hours of laborious work in the mines, we finally had enough resources to go and actually find a place to put the mega base. So I set out on my journey to find us a pillager tower. This adventure wasn't too long at all because Chris had already told me a rough location where he'd seen a pillager tower in the past, so it made it really easy for me to actually find this. Alright, so after a few days of riding, we finally found it. It's in a decent position, as it's in a plains biome. We are going to have to clear out a lot of these hills and trees so we can actually make an operational pillager farm here. So yeah, generally this is a really good location, and yeah, let's get right to work cracking and removing some of these hills. Alright, so after clearing out the area above, we added in some glass around the edges and added in a villager in the center to make this pillager farm functional. However, at the moment this farm is pretty much just a banner farm. Yeah, which isn't the best, and obviously a bit of XP on the side. So you know, we have the world's best banner farm right now, but hopefully in the future we will be making a raid farm outside somewhere, just to obviously get us a lot better drops. So yeah, hopefully we should be doing that in the future as well, just to make this farm, you know, not useless at all. But at the moment, infinite banners, so we'll take it. Okay, so I'm in a single player creative world, and this is because I've designed these towers that are going to be used on the actual mega base itself. Now, they look pretty clean, I think, and they'll work with the surroundings of the pillager theme. Obviously the colors right now are in a swampy kind of color just because of the biome that I've built this in, but it will be a lighter color because we have it in the plains. But yeah, I think the design has come on really well. Obviously the gate looks quite nice as well. And then I've decided we're also going to add some trees around the outside bit, and this will also still work because pillagers can't spawn on leaves, so none of this will affect any of the farm, and it will just look good. Alright, so we've gathered all of the supplies needed for one of the towers themselves. Yeah, so the farm's working really well. We had a villager die earlier because we built the thing wrong. Yeah, that was all George's fault, so we moved past that. Let's start work on the actual tower. Just a quick interval, the amount of sheer actual terraforming that goes into each tower is insane, because each tower, there's a crap ton of stuff in the way, so we just have to flatten everything. And it does take quite a while, and we do get stacks upon stacks of materials while doing this, which will help out in the long run because we can just use it for tons of different things. And yeah, so it's coming along really well. we're actually going to start our third tower now. But yeah, we're going to do this one, and yeah, in the future we are going to have to terraform a lot of this so it actually looks natural, but that will be in the future work. We have now finished all 4 towers, as well as filling in the walls in between them. This process has taken way too many days that I can't even count, but the main structure has finally been finished. At the moment, the walls are just plain stone brick, which is why we're going to be adding in some greenery and foliage, just to spice things up a bit. As well as that, we're going to be adding dark oak trees on the grass, give it a little bit of life inside the centerpiece, and yeah, it's just going to go all the way around the center. But yeah, it's looking good so far, and I'll see you once I've finished all the foliage and stuff like that. This build is really coming together now. We've put all of the foliage in with tons of different trees mixed in together, and it's really made the thing come alive. So I'm going to run around here. You can see that I've added a lot of different trees, as well as lanterns, bushes, just a ton of different things. I think these are azalea trees. We've got some of the moss carpets down here as well, just to add more texture to the area as well. And generally this looks like kind of like an enchanted forest, which actually looks really cool, I think. But yeah, just surrounding this area, I think I've done a great job. Yeah, that's enough of bigging myself up. So we're probably going to add in this last wall here in a moment. But yeah, we moved all the chests as well over to here to make it look a lot more clean, and so we can see this as well. So I'll probably just whack on some shaders actually, because that will look very cool. So let me get some shaders on and show you a perspective with that on. And I'm not underwhelmed at all. This looks amazing. I'm not even gonna lie. This looks sick. I don't know how many days we're on. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of judging off of the recordings and seeing when the night goes to day and stuff like that. So this is kind of a rough estimate, but I think we're on day 90-ish or something. But we've probably gone over that. But oh well, you know, it doesn't really matter if we go over anyway. Yeah, down here is the way to get down to the actual grinder. Now we were originally going to make a raid farm in the middle of there. I was in creative mode in a single player world, and I tried to do it, and it basically, long story short, it makes an endless raid farm of the first wave, so it just doesn't really add anything anyway. So what we're going to do after we finish this project in a future episode, we're going to make a raid farm further out, and yeah, that would just lead to unlimited emeralds, totems undying, and stuff like that. So yeah, we're going to finish off this build to lead us into day 100. It's looking kind of sick, so yeah, stay tuned to the end product. Alright, so if you're wondering how I've actually been making all these towers, I've basically been using a mod called Lightmatica, which essentially creates an outline of the build that you're going to do, and then you pretty much just place in the blocks where it shows, and you can do it layer by layer, which helps out a lot in building these things, because otherwise, I'm not going to lie, I'd get these all wrong. So this has really helped me out during this process, and yeah, it's really easy to do, and obviously I've made all this stuff before, so it's not like I'm using someone else's build or anything. But yeah, it's just a really handy tool that I can use, that myself and George have been using to build up these towers themselves. So yeah, let's get on to finishing this gate off. Alright, so with the walls done, it is time for the final stage of this project. It's time to add foliage to the walls, and with the new update of moss and azaleas, it has made it really easy to spruce up builds with greenery, as all you need is one bone meal and it looks great. So yeah, I'm going to cover the whole of the outside of the walls with this, mixed in with some leaves and some vines. Alright, so the build is finally finished. I think it's probably around day 100 or something like that. But either way, we've definitely gone over 100 days, nearabouts. So yeah, it's looking really cool, I think. Let me know in the comments what you want to see in the next episodes, because we're kind of going to be doing like huge projects every episode. Thank you to my boys KG, Finn, Rick and George for helping out this journey. They've done a lot of effort, especially George. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.